Well, ladies and gentlemen, the dynamic of this entire thing is so embarrassing. You've got Kamala Harris doing a 2020 Zoom style interview town hall thing with people there. They're calling it an online rally now. Oh, she has to have. Why is she having an online rally? Is the pandemic still a thing? Like, can people are people restricted from going and gathering to events? An online rally in 2024 because she can't draw people, and she's got Oprah there asking her questions, trying to influence people. Just like, oh, they bring out these big celebrities. It's like a mind-numbing thing. Like, oh, Taylor Swift, Oprah, Billie Eilish. And look at this. Kamala Harris gets called out by Oprah for dodging questions. She even got called out by Oprah. The reason I don't click on any of these links is because when you go to any of the, especially like a New York Post thing, nothing against the New York Post, but the amount of ads that they have is so crazy, it'll just slow down my computer. Maybe it's time for me to get a new computer, but you can see we're going to go through some of these clips. Look at this. Is this 2020? This is it is 2020. They have all the little Zoom people there. And of course, they've meticulously gotten all crafted to where it's like 30% black, 20% Hispanic, 15. Like, look at this. Look at this dude. Harris Waltz in the background. Really, brother? Come on, you're embarrassing yourself, man. All right, let's see what this is.
We really would love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
Oh boy.
Yeah. First of all, thank you both for being here. And yours is a story I hear around the country as I travel. And in terms of both rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams and ambitions for your family and working hard and finding that
the question was, how are you going to lower the cost of living?
That the American dream is, for this generation and so many recently, far more elusive than it's.
Okay, so thank you for that. That answered absolutely nothing. That's the exact same thing. Here's a question. Asked how she will secure the border. Oh my God. Well, she can't give an answer because, I mean, she's endorsed the border wall. According to her aides, they said it. They're like, yeah, she endorses it. So does she now have to say, like, if somebody presses her on the border, is she going to be like, all right, yeah, I endorse Donald Trump and his border wall? She's going to have to say that, I think. I mean, that's why I was so angry at the debate. It was such an amazing thing. Kamala Harris endorsing the border. Trump should have came out and said, well, you know what? I did realize a few weeks ago, your anonymous aides came out and said that you've endorsed the border wall, so you've endorsed me. And I appreciate that. That's what Trump should have said. But she can't say anything about the border because it's such a charade. There's no conspiracy. Donald Trump said he was going to secure the border, stop immigration. He did exactly that. Go look at the numbers. They get in office and it skyrockets because they're literally importing voters. That's what's happening. It's the numbers say it. These are a record number of illegal immigration. And now because Biden was sitting at -30, legit -30 in terms of his polling numbers against immigration, they have to come out and do this token. We're sorry, guys. Don't pay attention to the last 4 years and how bad it was. We're going to secure everything now. It's big bad Donald Trump. He didn't want to pass the bill to secure the border. Your entire campaign in 2020 said Donald Trump was big, bad, and evil, and there wasn't enough immigration coming into the country, and you compared the border wall to the Berlin Wall and said, oh, America's not about this. We have big gates. We open up our doors. You shouldn't have a wall there. That's what they were saying in 2020. They can't say it now because it's so ridiculously unpopular because of the amount of illegal immigration that they purposefully let in. They didn't finish Trump's wall. They scrapped it. The rest of the material that was going to be to finish it, they scrapped it. And she, of course, she's got no answer. She's giving amnesty to all the illegals already in the country. So how can you be hard on illegal immigration if your plan includes giving amnesty to the illegals that they're already in the country? So no. The illegals that are already in, they can stay. But anyone else, no, we're going to be really tough on them coming in. It makes no sense. You're totally inconsistent.
What would be specific steps to strengthening the border?
So it's a wonderful and important
Here comes the badass prosecutor.
question. My background was as a prosecutor, and I was also the elected attorney general.
You're such a
for the
badass.
border state.
Oh, you're
so
badass.
This is not a theoretical
You've prosecuted
issue for me.
so.
This is something I've actually worked on.
Okay.
have
What about liberals hating prosecutors?
prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings.
Oh my God.
I take very seriously the importance of having a secure border. And
But what are the steps? You want to build the rest of the wall. You said it. Your aide said it. You want to build the wall. You've endorsed the wall, but you can't say that out loud because it's so pathetic. And Oprah even is like, honey, this is pathetic. You got to start talking and actually say something, because you're saying nothing of substance. But it's honestly, the answers aren't even the most embarrassing part. The most embarrassing part is doing this where you've got, there it is, there's the wall. I thought we were never going to see, remember the NBA games? And you've got the wall in 2020. This was 2020 when it was happening, and they had to play it, at Disney World or whatever. And you've got the wall of people, and it's just like a bunch of, just NPCs, like, and here they all are. It's like, you've been invited to do an Oprah Winfrey Zoom call. Come on in. Maybe I should try and register for one of these and get into one of them. Like this dude, you've got the Harris. I stop picking on him, but I mean, you've just got the Harris. Well, dude, come on. What are you doing to yourself? Get a hold of yourself, man. Is this the same? Let's see if this is the same thing.
we are an optimistic people. Americans, by
We are an optimistic people? And she's like, huh?
character, are people who have dreams and ambitions and aspirations. We believe in what is possible. We believe in what can
It's like a bad motivational speaker that's trying to fill time.
be. And we believe in fighting for that. That's how we came into being. Because the people before us understood that one of the greatest expressions for the love of our country, one of the greatest expressions of patriotism.
That was so close.
Is to
If she would have paused for one more second, I would have lost it completely. Oh, by the way, I saw this. Maine Democrats ran out of time to change the state's split vote system for the 2024 election as Nebraska Republicans push for winner take all. And so from what I had heard, this was a few months ago, they're going to keep the split systems in both Maine and Nebraska, which is honestly, it doesn't really matter if they do that, because in Maine, as long as Trump wins that one district, he's very likely going to lose the state. I think he's down by 9 points, just statewide Maine. But if he wins the one district, it would balance out the Nebraska situation. Obviously, if Nebraska was winner take all, Trump would win it by like 25 points or whatever. But they have that one district. I think it's Omaha that went to Trump in 2016, but then went to Harris. I think both of these things need to be changed, and both of those states need to go to winner take all in 2028. And I had said, even if it doesn't benefit Trump, both Maine and Nebraska should be winner take all in 2024. However, if Nebraska can be winner take all, Trump will have an advantage because he could potentially snipe that one district in Maine. It's basically like gerrymandering for a general election, because Trump's very likely going to lose the state of Maine at large. But it's the exact same thing the Democrats did in 2020 with Nebraska, where they got crushed in the state, but they won the one district. So we'll have to see if this ends up happening. That could be an extra electoral vote for Trump, which may or may not matter. We haven't had necessarily recently razor-thin elections since 2000, but you really never know. At some point, it can creep up on you, and who knows? This election, it might split in a way. This is the exact. Let's say this.
I love our country. I know we all do. That's why everybody's here right now. We love our country.
And so she's trying to be positive and do the whole American, I love the country, because she has to overcompensate for that, because liberals have been seen as kind of being, I mean, there's a lot of liberals that don't endorse this at all. They don't love America. They think it's inherently racist. She's saying this, she's trying to pander to the independents. They have to do this, and that's why they've tried to retake the American flag, like during the DNC, when they're like, look at all the American flags. It's like a crazy amount where there's like thousands and thousands. They got them all waving them. They tell them to wave them because they burn the American flag. They 3 massive flags. These are all Palestine supporters. They're all far left people. They'll take the American flags down from the staffs, and this was in DC, and they put up the Palestine flags, and they hate the American flags. They think it's racist. They think it's bad. And so now she's overcompensating. So she's like, I love the country. Look at what we can do. She's a lot more positive. They think they found an opening because they view Trump as negative. And the biggest criticism of Trump at the debate was that he was too negative, or at least one of the biggest criticisms was that he was too negative. And so they found this opening with her where she's like, I love the country. I love what we can be. It's like they've turned her into this motivational speaker. There's no actual policy here.
Country. We take pride in the privilege of being American. And this is a moment where we can and must come together as Americans, understanding we have so much more in common than what separates us. Let's come together with the character that we are so proud of about who we are.
But it's just all, there's no policy, there's no anything. She needs to be asked, when she gets another TV interview, I don't know if it's going to happen, but when she gets another legitimate interview, you need to talk about what you're going to do to the border. Okay, if you're going to endorse Trump's policy, that's fine. You need to just tell us. That's what I would tell her. In terms of that, Oprah can't even stop the train wreck.
Oh, that.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and so now they've made her this gun owner to try and relate to people because Trump said there was going to be things, and she said this back in 2019 about doing buybacks, mandatory.
If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
She says if somebody breaks in my house, they getting shot. And Oprah's like, what? That's not a real Democratic thing to say. I mean, that is like a Republican thing to say.
Yes. I hear that.
Probably should not have said that.
But
my staff will deal with that later.
Yeah.
Probably should not have said that. My staff will deal with that later. That was probably one of the better things she said, honestly. Maybe not for the Democrats, but just the train wreck. And the worst part is you're doing an online, but why are they so obsessed with online Zoom calls? That's the thing that I don't understand. It's like the white guys for Kamala. It's all online. And you look at the YouTube channel, and it's got like 400 views per video for the white guys for Kamala. Imagine there was a thing, white guys for Waltz. Oh, man. Oh, you would have to neuter yourself to be a part of that. But, yeah, just another no substance interview, but this one's even crazier because they've got Oprah there, and then it's like this town hall, but then they've got it's like we're back in 2020. They are treating it like 2020. At least with Biden, he had the excuse of it being 2020. Now it's 2024. Why not do a rally in an arena with 20,000 people? Well, could they do it? Technically, yes. The problem is logistically, it would be a nightmare, the amount of buses they would need, and it would just be so obvious that they're busing people in. So it's like, we've got to think of other things to do. Let's do something. Let's do a little Zoom call. We've got all the people here. It's just, the whole thing's a mess. This is like 2020 again. What are we doing here? But they are obsessed with these Zoom calls. They won't let them go. Either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.